Wow, that last YouTube I did on John 1:11 bears looking into. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. I'm underlining and italicizing for emphasis. This one was in the beginning with God. All things came into being through him, and apart from him nothing came into being that has come into being. He's creator. In him was life, and the life was the light of men. And the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness did not comprehend it. There came into being a man having been sent from God, whose name is John. This man came for a witness, to bear witness of the light, that all through him, the light of men, the life, the Word, might believe. That one was not the light, but that he might testify about the light. The true light that gives light to every man was coming into the world. In the world he was, and the world through him was made, and the world did not know him. He came to his own. He came to all things in the world of his own creation. Being creator, he came to all things of the world, both inanimate and animate, including mankind. And his own, masculine and plural, those animate objects who have the capacity to receive, believe in him, his own particular people, specifically the people of Israel, did not receive him. That's a pondering. It's paid special attention to them. John 1:11. So the Word, the life, the light of men, creator and God, entered the world in history, in his humanity, coming to all things and individuals of his own, all things in the world including mankind, and his own particular people, masculine and plural, Israel, did not receive and believe in him to have an eternal life, familial relationship with God. So we looked at this from the grammar to make sure that we've got things straight. The Greek words ta idia in the first phrase of John 1:11, rendered he came to his own, neuter plural adjective for noun with a definite article. It refers to those things in the world of his own, both inanimate and animate, to which the Word of true light in its perfect form of humanity became and came into the world at the time of John the Baptist. So the phrase ta idia, being plural and neuter, has in view all the things, inanimate and animate, including all the peoples, all creation of the whole world, which the Word, the life, the light, as creator, and God is his own. He came to his own, hence the neuter gender. This phrase cannot refer solely to his own particular people or nation Israel, because the latter would require the masculine plural form of this adjective in order to refer to just a plurality of people. So note that the Greek word laos, which means people, is masculine. So the Greek words hoi idioi in the second phrase of John 1:11, rendered, and his own did not receive him, in the New King James Version, is a masculine and plural adjective for noun. This second phrase is joined with the first phrase with the Greek word kai, literally and. This word is correctly rendered and in the New King James Version, and not but, as some translations have it. The conjunction but is incorrect because it would signify that his own, of the first phrase, in the same as his own, inanimate objects, all of his creation, and animate. The second phrase, John 1:11. But this is not the case because of the difference in gender. So the conjunction and, on the other hand, permits the distinction already afforded by the difference in gender. So I'm going into the grammar of why the latter part did not receive him. Since the Greek words kai hoi idioi in the second phrase also have his own as an adjective for noun with a definite article, plural but masculine, then it must refer to a particular entity in the world which is masculine in gender and number, and plural in number, which the word identifies with as his own, which entity can choose to receive, believe in him or not. It must be people, ruling out inanimate objects, plants, and animals. Hence the words his own in the second phrase refer to a plurality of people to which the Word at the time of John the Baptist in his humanity belongs. Since the Word added to himself humanity and became a man at the time of John the Baptist, then grammatically but not contextually it is possible that the Greek phrase, rendered and his own did not receive him, in the New King James Version, could mean that he came to his own people in the sense that he came to all of mankind when he was in his humanity. But that's not the case. And all of mankind characteristically did not receive him. But this point had already been established in John 1:5. It's true, but it's not here in this view, in this verse, in 1:11. So before he added to himself humanity, the whole world did not accept him, except a limited number, a remnant, which portrayed the characteristic response of men throughout history to the revelation of the light of men, the life, temporal and eternal, the Word, eternal Creator, which God provided information about himself to their minds. So in the mind, throughout history, men had known God and rejected it. And that characteristic response was one of willfully not choosing to comprehend, perceive, understand, and know who the life is, nor truths about God which he revealed as the light of men. So the souls of men were characterized as darkened throughout history, sinful and rebellious toward the light, unwilling to choose to comprehend his revelation. Men were characteristically estranged from God from the beginning of creation, before he added to himself humanity. John 1:5. Since verse 5 has already established that all of humanity throughout history has characteristically not received the Word in verse 5, and since the context in verse 11b is after he, the Word, had added to himself perfect humanity, and then a particular group of his own people out of the entire pool of humanity must be in view in John 1:11b. He's focusing in now. A group which he particularly is a part of, which even born into, in the sense of his humanity, namely Israel. Unto us a son is born, a child is born of Israel. Isaiah 9:6-7, there it is. And Israel characteristically did not receive the Word when he was in his humanity. John 1:45, for example, says that. Just take a look at that, John 1:45. Although the Greek word for people is masculine singular, the Greek word idioi refers to a plurality of individuals, people which are his own, his particular people, Israel. So let's look at John 1:45. There we go, John 1:45. Like to see corroboration. Just had a conversation with a gentleman that didn't believe that the Bible was of any value, what goes on in your own mind. Then he quotes another book to support himself. Well, that book is not as reliable as the Bible. So if you think that something within your own mind, if you originated, I might say you have a point of view that needs investigation. But if you quote one book against another without reviewing the two compared, then we have a foolish argument. Okay, John 1:45. Contend for the faith. I know people don't like you arguing, but they argue to you, so you have an okay there to argue back. Philip found Nathanael and said to him, "We have found him of whom Moses in the law and also the prophets wrote, Jesus of Nazareth, the son of Joseph." Israel characteristically did not receive the Word when he was in his humanity, John 1:45. We found him of whom Moses in the law and also the prophets wrote, Jesus of Nazareth, the son of Joseph. Nathanael said to him, "Can anything good come out of Nazareth?" Philip said to him, "Come and see." So it sounded like not much acceptance in the nation Israel. Although the Greek word for people, leon, is masculine and singular, the Greek word idioi refers to a plurality of individuals, people which are his own, his particular people, Israel. The second phrase of John 1:11, rendered, "and his own," referring to his own particular people, Israel, did not receive him, indicates that the Word was in human form in order to be one of his own particular people. Later on in the Gospel of John, the particular group defined as his own people, which did not receive him, will be corroborated as Israel. There it is. Philip found Nathanael and said to him, "We have found him of whom Moses in the law and also the prophets wrote, Jesus of Nazareth, the son of Joseph." So note that the Word became flesh, Jesus Christ, is declared here as the son of Joseph, an Israelite. Look at John 7:1. "And after these things Jesus walked in Galilee, for he did not want to walk in Judea because the Jews sought to kill him." Note that Jesus was evidently rejected by the Jews to the extent of imminent assassination. So he departed and continued his ministry in Galilee, away from his people who did not receive him. Looking at John 1:12. But as many individuals of his own creation, this is the capstone of these verses moving up to here, but as many individuals of his own creation as did receive him, Jews and Gentiles alike, he gave authority to become sons, literally children of God, to those believing in his name. You become a child of God, a son of God, you have eternal life. John 1:12, as many individuals of his own creation who receive the Word, the life, the light of men, Creator, eternal God, in the completed action instant of becoming believers in his name by trusting in his capacity, willingness, and trustworthiness to provide an eternal life relationship with God through his atoning sacrifice for sins, are born of God, as children of God, to whom God gave his righteousness and the authority to become children of God, resulting in an eternally secure, eternal life, familial relationship with God. John 1:12. So the conjunction rendered but in John 1:12a, the beginning in the phrase rendered but as many as did receive him, continues the context of his own, neuter plural, his own Israelite chosen people, since the provision of becoming born again unto eternal life is available to all mankind. Oh, okay, all mankind. But John 1:12a has in view as many as all of his creation who choose to believe in his name. Okay, I missed that. So, according to John 1:12b, to receive him, the Word, creator of life, temporal and eternal, is to become sons, children of God, hence to receive the nature of him, which he offers to all who believe in his name. Because if you have the nature of your parents. Yeah, if your parent is God, eternal God, you have eternality. To all who believe in him, the free gift of his perfect righteousness and eternal life through his atoning sacrifice for sins. So John 1:12 continues the point begun in verse 11, but as many of his own, neuter plural, of individuals of his own creation, there it is, all of whom who have the capacity to receive him. So everybody, all of mankind has the capacity to receive him. All you have to do is believe, as did receive him, in the sense of believing in his name, trusting in his capacity, willingness, and trustworthiness to provide through his atoning sacrifice for sins an eternal life relationship with God. John 1:7 and 12c. God gave the authority to become sons, children of God, resulting in an eternally secure, eternal life, familial relationship with God. Note that for an already physically born individual to become a child of God implies another birth, being born again, being born of God, a spiritual birth. We'll get the clear view of this in John chapter 3. But we get a pretty good view of it here, and also John 1:13, which comes up. Notice the Greek phrase in John 1:12. He gave to them authority, children of God, to become, to become, which is rendered, he gave them authority to become sons, children of God, in the Young's literal translation. That's a good translation to double-check your favorite translation with. The expression to give one authority is a common linguistic expression which is used to portray someone being given authority to become an individual with a certain status, as if to say that he has become that individual of that status. In the context of John 1:12, its use does not permit one to be uncertain as to the outcome of being born of God as a child of God, as some maintain. They want to stop it and nip it in the bud right here. No. They say that individuals given the authority to become children of God may or may not actually become children of God unto eternal life, depending upon their ongoing response to exercising that authority, promoting salvation by faithfulness and works. However, the rules of language, context, and logic do not afford this conclusion. You're adding something. For example, just as the manager of a retail store can tell an employee that he has been given the authority to become a senior buyer, as if to say that he has become, i.e. been promoted to, the status of senior buyer. So John 1:12 certainly says that as many who have been given the authority to become children of God have indeed become born of God, children of God, in eternal life, familial relationship with God, as the last phrase of John 1:13 corroborates. See, if people have a definite point of view, they don't bother keeping on reading. But as many individuals of his own creation as did receive him, to them he gave authority to become sons, literally children of God, to those believing in his name, who, not of blood, nor of a will of flesh, nor of a will of man, but of God were begotten. So they were begotten. They were born.